Hello, welcome back to High Rollers in Cyberpunk 2077. Let's see what our adventurers are going to do this time. With having lost this trailing car, it's quite late at night. You guys, within a few hours, arrive at Kabuki Market. Kabuki is a district in Watson. Watson was the pride of numerous Asian corporations that when, just before the Unification War, Arasaka lost its grip on Night City. They lost their headquarters, destroyed by Johnny Silverhand and Militech. A nuke wiped it out and caused a period of time called the Time of the Red, where the sky above Night City was stained blood red for years. Night City wasn't particularly fond of Arasaka after this, and so they kept them out. During that time, a bunch of companies came over trying to rebalance the power. They wanted to create their own part of Night City, and Watson was going to be that district. It was going to be full of, it was going to be prosperous, it was going to be clean, it was going to be a new hope for Night City. Then, after the Unification War, Arasaka came back in force. They were invited back to the city, and they bought up everything. And they left Watson to rot. It's now become one of the poorest districts. It has been filled with all sorts of immigrants from all over the world, and it's become this kind of hodgepodge of cultures. Lots of Chinese immigrants have come over, lots of Polish and Russian, and then the Japanese culture that was there before has mingled into this kind of eclectic mix. Real cyberpunk, neon signs, flashing banners, food stands, all of that stuff. And it's particularly known because a large roundabout in the very center of the district, the middle of it has become a dense street market. Not just any street market, a black market. At night, red lanterns start glowing, the hanging lanterns above Kabuki Market shine on illegal cyberware, net running equipment, they like vat-grown limbs and synth flesh. There are body sculpting clinics, pop-up ones all set over. It's packed, it's crowded, and it's rough. And you guys pull up in your very fancy, wonderful black and red sports car. And my question is, where do you want to begin? This is a big open zone. There are numerous buildings around. I don't know if any of your characters maybe know a bit more about Kabuki. Maybe some of you have spent time here, in which case I can give you some stuff. I will say that for Sky, your contact Susie Q, Lizzie's bar is based here. It's actually based in Kabuki. I got it. I said it was a different one. It's actually in Kabuki. I had to check that this morning.
Okay.
So Lizzie's bar is here. It's
Sure.
one of the locations here. And yeah, if anybody else wants to know anything, if you've got any theories, now's the time. Dfex, you arrive at your destination. Yeah.
Like nothing happened. I had no idea we were being tailed.
Nope. Nothing.
We here? Nice.
We are. I think that we should go to Lizzie's bar.
All right. Yeah. Let's get some drinks before we start.
No. Well, you can if you want, but I know a girl who might be able to help us out. She's not in Tiger Claws or Maelstrom. She's in Mox's.
Oh.
Mox's gal, and yeah, I've helped her out in the past. She might be able to at least shed light on who this guy was that shot, and then maybe we can go from there. What do you think?
Yeah. Are we paying her?
No, she's my friend.
Then free intel. Let's do it.
Sure.
Sure. When you're making your way to Lizzie's bar, I'm assuming you find somewhere to park up maybe. I'm not going to be like, right, where are you going to park your car so it doesn't get jacked?
I'd say that Kabuki is probably very well known to me. It's probably where I do a lot of my business.
Sure.
So I know where is safest to park my car.
Perfect.
Nice.
And also, I would wonder if the people who know me and would know don't touch my fucking car.
Sure. I think that you would never have any problem with just general locals or scavs. The gangs, they're probably the only ones who might try and grab it, but also maybe not. It's kind of that thing of they've got other interests, right? A car might not be in their kind of best interests, kind of jack. It's more things like scavengers who would try and grab
It's very
it.
well secured as well. It's got a lot of security systems.
Sure.
And,
Perfect. I will say this as well. If you know Kabuki well, there's a couple of locations here that you know. There's the No-Tell Motel, which is, you've probably stayed there, at times. It's an AI-run hotel, so there's no clerks. You just basically go in, everything's automated, all the cleaning's automated. So it's a good place to grab. If you guys need to stay, this is a good place to go. There is, there's all sorts of gaming parlors and places like that. Right on the edge of Kabuki Market, kind of facing into the main market itself, is Happy Dragon Pachinko Parlor, which is a pachinko gaming parlor. Very noisy, but very big and very popular with the locals. There is also, there's Lizzie's Bar. You would know this as well as Sky does. Lizzie's Bar became famous. It was formerly owned by a woman called Elizabeth Borden, who was a strip club owner and ex-sex worker. She was killed by tiger claws and everyone went crazy. The gang, the Moxes, was formed from her employees, friends, people that just were lashed out against the injustice, and they went to town getting revenge for Lizzie. And so Lizzie's Bar has become this kind of famous spot for people, and it's the headquarters of the Moxes in the area. There's the market itself. The market is surrounded by convenience stores, businesses, offices, apartments, all the kinds of things that anybody would kind of need as well. It's all dotted around the place. And that's kind of the main locations in the immediate area. So yeah, what's the plan? Do you guys want to just go follow Sky's advice and head to Lizzie's Bar? Any other ideas?
Is there anywhere we can see where this guy got shot?
As in, like, you want to see, like, find the location of where he was being shot at? Yeah, it looks like it was deep in the market. So the market is this dense, crisscross labyrinth of stands and stalls. And you sort of saw a flash of maybe like a takoyaki kind of like, squid ball kind of place in the background. And then there was like some sort of body mod clinic where somebody was getting a face tattoo done. And it's somewhere in this maze of stands.
Can I do a scan to see if there's any cameras that might have caught the event?
Ah, very good idea. Yeah, make a scanner check. So this is your D10 plus interface.
Sure. 5.
Okay, yeah. So that's a total of 9?
No, 5 total.
5 total?
Wow.
This place is so busy and hectic, and you're so used to kind of being in the mix of Netspace and Meatspace. It's overwhelming. Like, you're just like, I can't get a grip to this place at all.
So
I think that there is one access node in the heart of the market. Maybe that, like, there are security cameras, whether you can get access to them or not. It's not clear. But yeah, they'll be able to find somewhere. It might just take you time. You'll probably have to spend a good hour just looking around, like, is it? Oh no, I can't use that. I can't use that. Like, you need somewhere to jack in, and like, there's cameras, but you need an actual network hub.
Okay.
But yeah, it's overwhelmingly busy.
Maybe that way.
Sure.
Maybe not.
It's a shame he was shot. He might have got away with it if he hadn't have shot him.
Maybe.
It's a busy place.
You sound like you need a drink.
Just had a drink, but I can go for another one.
Exactly. Lizzie's Bar.
Bar?
Bar.
Sure.
Then we'll get intel and,
Lizzie's Bar is characterized by a big purple sign, very stylized girls with an eye patch and a baseball bat in one hand that comes swinging down in a kind of holographic pattern.
Nice.
You can see outside there are dozens of people dressed up in neon bomber jackets, tight leggings, mesh tops, clubbers and goers, people out for a good time. A few of the ladies and men around here, whilst they may not be wearing much, they have meaty looking SMGs and pistols on their hips. They have big bats with nails stuck in them, or they have very vibrant nails, which I think Sky would recognize of her own style. People are keeping a very close eye on what's going around here. There are advertisements outside of Lizzie's Bar, big posters of beautiful, almost fantastical locations, and then a glowing humanoid shape with latest brain dances available here, Lizzie's Bar. Experience the unexperienced, and then it's a guy being surrounded by men and women. Some of them are kind of anthropomorphic animals, some of them have got wings, and he's just like, whoa. And there's these advertisements plastered everywhere, these brain dance experiences. But you make your way up, and as soon as you get near the door, bounces a very burly looking woman with a shaved head, not wearing much, just a kind of thin mesh top, but with big arms, just holds up and says, whoa. Who the hell are you guys?
I'm here to see Susie Q.
Who are you?
Sky. She knows me. I've done some work for her before.
Okay, she rolls her eyes, stay out here, and she turns in and she's like, hey, Gota, and then you hear them whisper. She sends him in like, we'll see. Waits for a few moments. Girl comes back. Yeah, Susie says it's okay. Susie says, well, she knows this. She says this one's okay. If any of them cause trouble, Susie says it's on you.
Don't cause trouble.
Won't cause trouble.
You're
I'm not
looking
looking
at me?
at you, I'm looking at him.
Oh.
No, she's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Noted.
She just nods and says, okay. You guys step inside and you enter into a busy bar. The bar itself is a really long bar with a dance floor. You can see booths on the side edges, all sorts of men and women walking around, having a good time, drinking, dancing, partying. At the back, steps down lead into a kind of recessed basement where are these huge tanks. They're kind of like pods that you lie in, and then your brain sits in like a helmet. And you can see that there are dozens of them and they're all full up of people just kind of making very unusual noises. Some of grunts of pleasure, some grunts of pain. All sorts of things are happening down there. And you can see that in writing it says Brain Dance Suite over this kind of recessed area.
If I wanted to,
Yeah.
could I see what they're seeing as I'm going past them? I have
think-
a cyber eye.
I think that you don't even need to hack it. I think some of them have screens, and there are
Okay.
people like watching. And yeah, there's all sorts of things. You see one guy, and he appears to be dressed in like wizard robes, and he's flying through the air and like casting spells down on like the ground below, and like there's a score going up, like it's counting kills and points. And you know, there's some sort of fantasy adventure that he's on.
Yeah.
A lot of people are watching that one. The next one is, I mean, there's things going on there that I'm not going to describe, but it's very clearly of an adult nature. There's a big crowd watching that, but it's all, you can see that some of it's been set up. The way that the brain dances work is they're actual experiences, but people have learned how to trick the brain. So the guy who's like casting spells is probably in some sort of virtual reality suite, and then they've edited in post footage to make it seem
Right.
more real.
Okay.
And then it's created this game-like experience. The guy who's just having a whale of a time is probably just having a whale of a time. With this kind of thing.
Are they all like aggressive or lewd, or is there just one guy that's just sat in front of a fireplace in a log cabin in like a
No, I
Alaska
think
or
that,
something?
no, I think there would be stuff like that. Maybe not like a log cabin, but like one of the experiences is like living the rich and famous, and it's just a guy at like a really high class bar, and he's just drinking, and everyone's like, "Hey," and they're talking to him like
Just
he
to be
gets to be
recognized.
famous. Yeah, yeah. And I
man.
think like stuff like that is definitely an experience people would pay for, right?
Yeah.
You were eventually led up to a small side room. Inside, you see she's quite short, but you can tell she's very athletically built, probably Chinese woman. She has kind of shaved on the sides and then a big sort of braided ponytail down the back. She wears a kind of tank top with a pair of very tight leggings with all sorts of emblems and patches kind of sewn onto them. And it just has a big Q on the tank top. And she looks over and she goes, my little reporter friend. Hello, Sky.
Susie.
I know this one as well. Mei, right?
So,
I think you've done some work for us before, haven't you?
yes. Discreet though.
I remember. I don't know the rest of these. Well, I've heard of him.
Might not be here.
Okay, yeah,
So when it got into the dense, crowded bar, I peeled off.
right, okay. What are you doing?
I'm hitting the bar,
Right.
and I'm like talking to everyone around me, and then
Okay.
showing off as well. I've got my guitar on my back.
It becomes immediately apparent as soon as you start speaking loudly and drinking, there is a group, 2 young men and a young girl, probably quite young, and they look over and they're like, oh my god, it's Dfex. Oh my god, it's Dfex. Dude, and they're just like freaking out
Looking
when they
around
see
at
you.
people near me, it's like, this happens all the time.
The people around you do seem impressed. Like they're like, oh wow, is this guy famous?
Yeah.
And then the fans are like, Dfex, man, your latest album's so good, dude. Like, oh my god, it blew my mind.
Thanks, man. I
Hey.
made this for you guys.
Oh wow, and they're just like freaking out. Hey, is it true that you smashed that police car up when they tried to break up your gig in West Haybrook?
I'll never tell.
They're like, oh my god, whoa, dude! And they're just freaking out. These guys are 100% fans, by the way. And they buy you drinks. They're just like, can I buy you a drink, man?
Yeah, why not?
And they're like, yeah.
Gotta party hard, right?
Yeah, party hard, man. And they're just like, fully...
I'll do a solo.
Yeah.
I'll get my guitar out and start playing.
I think the lady behind the bar is like, hey, no, just whatever, and just like lets you play it and stuff like that as you kind of, because you have like a portable amp, right? Like it's built into.
It just comes out of my body.
Oh
I think it's
boy.
built into your cyber suite, so like like the sound
I've got a
just comes out.
cybernetic audio suite.
Yeah.
Cyber audio.
So it just like blasts
Just
your own
emanates from
audio.
my body.
Yeah. So and you pull out your guitar. What does it look like?
So it's a very sleek, like, imagine every piece of guitar that doesn't need to be there doesn't exist. So it's like pieces that are joined together by very thin metal rods and stuff. So only the bare essentials that keep the strings together.
Nice.
But one side is a really sharp
Edge.
axe edge. It's an axe.
It's an axe. It's a real axe.
It's a melee weapon.
Yeah. Well, while you are hanging out with your fans, Suzy Q kind of turns to the rest of you. So, what can I do? Why are you here?
I heard there was a bit of trouble in the market.
There's always trouble in the market.
Well, yeah, but a bit of a gruesome eye shooting story.
Oh, the eye guy. Yeah. I mean, some girl probably tried to grab her or something like that. He gets shot.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. But just wondering if you knew where who the guy was. If he was with any gangs.
At the word gang, she was just like, we think he may have been Maelstrom.
Interesting.
But those chrome heads are freaks. She probably had some good cyberware and they were trying to grab it. They're no better than scabs. If they can get their hands on good tech, they'll go after anybody.
Did you see the girl?
Didn't get a good look at her. She was pretty quick. Not one of mine. Not one of my girls. Not one of the locals. Probably came in from somewhere else. Are you looking for her or somebody in particular?
We're just looking to see what happened, really.
Well, I mean, you know as much as I do. Some girl runs through the market shooting at some ganger chasing her. That's as much as we know.
If this guy was Maelstrom, he probably had a load of tech, right? Where's the body now? Is he being harvested for his
Oh, he
stuff?
survived. I mean, his eye got blown out, but there's enough back alley doctors that they just, I'm guessing he's going to get it replaced.
I was convinced he was dead.
I mean, you hear about a guy getting shot in the eye, you assume he's dead, but no, he survived. I'm guessing he's back with the rest of those chrome heads back in the NID.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
Talk to the guy. He's alive.
Well, I just
Who would've
wanted to
thought?
see if there's any trouble going on lately. Any particular...
There's always trouble going on.
Yeah, I know, but anything particular? Anything for you guys?
No, I mean, it's just been business as usual.
Fair.
Anything else I can help you with? It sounds like you're here for something. What are you looking into this time?
Girl.
Gathered.
Don't know who she is, but there's a girl missing.
Okay. You're looking for her? Do you have a name, a description? She's like looking around at all of you.
Dorothy.
Dorothy. Rings a bell. She kind of like thinks for a minute, pulls up her agent, scans through it. Yeah, the kid with the red sneakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, she came by. She wanted, sweet kid. She asked our permission to go looking into a few things. Seemed like a good enough kid. She's not a ganger. She didn't look like she was working for a corpo. So, yeah, we said fine. She was looking into the old medtech buildings around here from before Arasaka. Went down to the old metro station. She's some sort of net runner, I think. She said she was looking for files, data, something like that. Sweet kid. Haven't seen her in a while.
When did you
Yeah.
last see her?
Maybe 3 days ago, she checked into the no-tell motel, came and spoke to us, kept an eye on her, making sure that nobody gives her trouble. And then she, vanished. I mean, it could be that she was the girl in the market. I mean, nobody really asked about a description or anything like that, but young girl, not from around here, could be her.
We gets into trouble.
She didn't say anything about the types of files that she was looking for at all.
Nah, you kidding? Net running, she's not going to talk about that stuff. If she's made a deal with a client, she's going to keep that to herself.
Doesn't mean the files are hidden. We can get them.
No, I'm just curious to see which other people might be after those files.
I mean, if she was the one running, Maelstrom definitely was after something, whether it was just territory or they were just trying to grab a cyber. I don't know, but you could try asking at the Notel Motel, or like checking its systems, not asking, but check the systems. Ask around the market. If she's been running around, people may have seen her. Maybe some of the other buildings. She's probably had to get her food and stuff from somewhere. Try some of the food stands or something like that.
The fact that she checked in with you guys and makes me feel like she's maybe not the bad guy in this situation.
She didn't seem. I mean, she was young. Like, she's a teenager. She's a kid. I don't think she had a bad bone in her body. She looked. She's kind of a joke in a way, a bit too naive. The fact that she came and asked our permission, nobody does that.
Teenager alone out here as well.
Yeah.
Seems a bit strange.
And that's why I asked. I was trying to keep an eye on her, but yeah, last time I saw her, she was in the motel and then just vanished.
Well, it's a good start.
Sure.
See if we can
Listen,
find her.
like, you're welcome to come back. I'll let people know that you can come back to the bar, but the district's a mess at the minute. Maelstrom and the Tiger Claws are out in force. Just don't cause any trouble.
Not looking to get in any trouble, just trying to find a girl who might be in trouble here.
Yeah, trouble's gonna find you if you carry on this way.
I know. It usually does.
Where's
But
Dfex?
no, he's having a drink.
Cool. Good. Not causing trouble.
If there's anything else, I'll help, but I've got business to do.
Sure. Okay.
Looks over. Anything, May Grim? No?
Nope.
Nope. Cool.
Let's go get your defects.
Yeah, well, you
Yeah.
guys head out. So, Chris Trott, tell us, what state do they find defects in?
Can I?
Right.
So I have a charismatic impact.
Yes. It's
Of
your
rank
rocker boy
4.
ability. Yep.
So that's pretty high. Right?
I wouldn't say high. It is.
It's a good
It
start.
is of a level. Yes.
Can I try and make a huge group around me into fans?
So let's have a look. Let's have a look here on charismatic impact. So, when a rocker boy wants to make a charismatic impact on a fan or group of fans, you can use the following table. You can also just try and convert people that aren't currently your fans into fans. Sure, you could. So for a huge group, you can try this. So this would be basically all the people currently in the bar. You've been playing music. You can make a check. You roll 1d10 plus 4, and you will need a certain number to convert them.
13.
And you want to go for a huge group, a big group. So you guys come out, and this has turned into an impromptu Dfex fucking concert. The crowd is like, Dfex, Dfex. There's like 50 people, and they are loving it. Like, they are well into it. You have gained a subset of new
bar.
fans, yeah?
Just playing music. I've managed to get the backing track playing out of me as well.
The bar lady who at first was like, hey, come, so she's like, yeah, woo!
I'm just into it right
Yeah.
now.
And
I'm
you
gonna go
emerge
for
the
a
scene.
crowd surf in a second.
Sure.
You said he was just getting a drink.
I mean, he said he was just getting a drink, but it's defects, so.
Yeah.
Are there like loads of like drinks like stacked along the bar that people have like bought for him and stuff? Like,
There's
can I just
stacks of
can I just take one of them and just like swig one down, just
Yeah.
like neck it back, and then just
Oh
be
yeah,
like,
just bam. It's a cocktail called a Johnny Silverhand, which is tequila, lime, and a bit of soda.
I just don't know what it is. I'm just like, just for
Bam.
God's sake, and then
You start crowd surfing Dfex as you go over. Grim, probably. In fact, all of you guys that aren't Dfex, make a perception. So intelligence plus perception test.
Cool.
okay.
So 1d10, intelligence and perception.
Oh. Okay, that's huge. 20.
20.
20.
Yeah, 20 for me.
10. Okay. So everybody but May. This is a pretty large crowd. Nobody looks like they have wished any harm on Dfex. But there are definitely like people like patting his pockets and like looking for things like money or things that they can steal. In amongst all the crowd. You can see hands kind of like reaching into his vest and stuff as he's being passed along. But also these are all locals. Like, these are all kind of people that might know something, and they are infatuated with him. Like, they are just like, oh my God, Dfex. Completely absorbed in him. Like, if you guys wanted to ask them questions, like, if he could ask, he'll probably get answers out of these guys.
I'll probably drop off, like, right in front of you guys as you,
Sure.
and I'm just, like, high-fiving people.
Yeah, man, woo!
All right, easy. I gotta talk to my friends.
They're still lingering in a crowd. Like, they've not moved. They're, like, just awkwardly hanging on, like, hoping that you're gonna finish with these guys and go back to party.
I've got, like, heart attention on these guys, but I'm also, like, pointing at people whilst we're talking.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, how'd it go?
Oh, good. The guy Dorothy shot, still alive. We can go talk to him. Dorothy was checking out some med stuff, net running, all that, trying to get some information. She found some files.
Nice.
And then she started shooting up the entire market afterwards. So we could try and find the files. You know, or if any of these guys know.
Oh. You want me to ask? Hey, you.
Yeah, hey Dfex, hey man, I got you a drink.
Pull him up. I take the drink, swig it.
Yeah.
I, like, sign his face.
Yeah, woo!
Hey, you wouldn't happen to know, you know, a little, what was it? Who's
Dorothy.
this guy?
Dorothy.
Hey man, Dorothy.
Red sneakers.
So he doesn't, but somebody over here is like, yo, hey, is that Dorothy chick? Yeah, I know, yeah.
Dorothy's a Dorothy chick, yeah.
Yeah.
She kind
Red
of...
sneakers, dresses like that old movie, right?
Yeah, shooting a gun.
Yeah, oh man, she was like, I didn't see her, but I heard about it, my friend heard about it. She came running out of the metro, right? And she was, people were chasing after her, they think they were Maelstrom. And then this kid, I've never seen somebody who didn't know how to shoot a gun, but she's just like waving it all over the place. She must have just bought it, man. Like, she must have literally bought it that day. Blam, 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 just bullets flying everywhere. And one just happens to catch this Maelstrom guy right in the face, rips his eyeball out, man. It went flying. And then this kid, she just vanishes, like somewhere in the market. Like, nobody sees where she goes. Just woof, gone like a ghost, man.
Damn, that's red.
Yeah, Dfex.
Sick.
Nice. Maelstrom. More than one guy chasing after her. Perfect.
This Dorothy,
Yeah.
did she look scared? Was she happy?
Yeah, man, she was freaking out, dude.
Right.
Just blam, blam, blam. Didn't know how to hold the gun or anything. Like, she had no style. She had no, she had no pow, man. She was just running scared. And then this dog that was with her just whoa, chasing after her.
Right. I appreciate that. Thanks for that.
Thanks, man. And then they're just like, yeah, woo, and then just go back to partying.
The eye. His eye got shot out. We find the eye.
Isn't it gonna be like...
Just like their faces looking at you, Tom. Like, Kim just looks like, I hate with all the world.
With every fiber of my being.
What are we gonna do with an eye?
Did it like explode or something? There's nothing
Yeah,
left.
I hate to point out, but and she, my mate holds up her phone with the picture.
And it's just like,
There's no eye left.
We said the eye went flying. It's probably a cyber eye. Get the eye.
There's no
look at
eye
the eye.
left.
Yeah, not in his head, no.
No,
no,
like the
look at the
eye is
picture.
no.
Oh, you said the eye went flying. I thought it was going to marble down the alleyway.
Look at the actual picture.
No. Yeah, it's,
zoom in on the
pretty
door.
grim.
I know,
It's
but
flat.
the eye went
not.
flying.
That's sick. Can you send that to me?
I will, yeah. Here you go.
Nice.
By the way, I think
Grim.
that kid has your wallet.
yeah,
Hey!
oh yeah. Some
grab
kids
him.
take it one. Yeah, you try and grab him, he's like running for the door.
You piece of shit. Hey, he's got my wallet.
What? And then the crowd turns around. Make another charismatic impact check. D10 plus your 4.
9 that time.
9? That's still enough. A small group, maybe 5 or 6 of them are like, you fucking asshole, you stole Dfex's shit! And then they are running after this kid.
do
Like,
that?
they're gonna beat the crap out of him. Grim, one thing that when Dfex's fans were talking, I think one thing as a solo you would have picked up on was they were really specific that she didn't know how to fire a gun.
Yeah.
And they said specifically, like, maybe she bought it that day. Like, yeah, like somebody who didn't know how to fire a gun, that sounds like what they would be doing.
Yeah.
Kabuki Market's the place where you buy a gun. Like, if you could maybe try and track down who she bought the gun from, that could be an avenue to pursue as well.
Yeah.
Also, maybe for you, like, this market is easy to get lost in, but to vanish completely, somebody would have seen it. If she left this immediate area, so if she's not here, if she's not in one of the buildings nearby, somebody would have seen her. She must still be in this area. Like as a smuggler, you know when to like lay low. Like, yeah, she couldn't have gone far from this place.
Would there be any kind of low-laying places that May would be familiar with? You know,
The motel here, like the Notel Motel, but that's obviously you have to register to stay there and stuff like that. In terms of like other places to hide, I mean, there are like convenience stores and apartment buildings and offices. She could maybe try and break into one of those to like lay low. But you think somebody would probably notice. The only other real big building here is the pachinko parlor, but it's not really somewhere that you could stay in, basically. But maybe it's got security. Maybe it might know, like it might have security footage if she moved through it, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. A couple of different options, avenues.
I don't think we want to get involved with the Maelstrom.
No,
Just
we
saying.
don't. They're fucking freaks.
They're assholes. Assholes.
Gotta stay away from them.
They'd have a field day with you.
They
Once
would.
it tracks.
If they got the information, I'll find the information.
No, they'd rip you apart.
They would rip you apart.
Hey, he's
Pieces,
good.
these trinkets.
He's good. He knows what he's doing.
No, they want your tech. Dude, they'll do anything to get
It
tech.
doesn't. Come on. They'll want his tech, they'll want your tech, they'll want
They
everyone's
will
tech.
rip you apart.
They'll rip everyone apart. The Maelstrom.
Specifically you. Look at you.
I know.
We got friends here now. Hey?
Got friends.
Yeah,
Friends?
I mean, you've definitely got a gang, like a following.
I trust the Moxes. They're great. I don't trust Maelstrom. And I don't trust Tiger Claws.
Okay, so we're not talking to the guy.
Can we track her another way? Do you think
Run
you can find a
dealers.
way to see any security cameras?
We could find the file that she was looking for.
Yeah.
Find the file. Track
Look
the
at these
gun.
smart guys.
Let's try that before we go anywhere near Maelstrom. Just saying, they're trouble.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're trouble.
So what's the plan? So how are you going to go about trying to find this data?
So they said that she was looking for files in like the med.
Yeah, the old medtech buildings. So
Medtech.
these are like abandoned buildings on the outskirts of Kabuki Market. They would have once been like big conglomerate medical corporations, but Arasaka bought them out and just left them to just fall apart, basically. So like derelict buildings. Maybe there's still some labs and stuff, but they would have been cleared out long, long ago.
So maybe there's files there that she found and then immediately afterwards started shooting up the entire market.
Maybe.
Actually, if she was coming out of the metro, there'll be cameras there. We could see her there. And then follow her path from the metro onwards.
Sure.
I say we stay here. I think she's probably still nearby.
We can go to the hotel. Motel? No, motel, motel? Motel, hotel, motel?
Grim said there's a gun dealer. Just go to the gun dealer.
There's a lot
See
of gun dealers here.
Oh. Oh, right.
If you could find out what brand of gun, or if there was any sort of like indicator of what it was or where she bought it from, that would help track it down.
There'd be bullet casings maybe at the scene.
Maybe.
In the eye. Socket.
And the eye, yeah.
Or if she bought it, maybe there's like, a gun case that she threw away or something like that might identify it.
Yeah, if she was shooting randomly into the street, that could well be.
Yeah. Okay, take a look at the scene.
Yeah.
So what's the plan? Do you guys want to split up and do stuff, or do you have like a particular avenue, like, we're gonna do this?
I guess could we find the scene that so maybe using the
absolutely
footage
can.
that Sky has, looking at.
Yeah, and I think
see
like
where
with
it is.
Dfex's fans, like if he could just ask and be like, hey, do you know where she was shooting the place up? And they'll be like, yeah, and they can take you, and then with the
Or
footage,
they're
you
like
can match
footage
it.
from it, yeah.
Yeah, you can
just-
scrub through and try and find it.
I'm gonna call it like a crawl to them. It's like, we're going to the next club, guys. But en route, we're gonna swing by that grisly scene.
Sure. So how about, okay, we're gonna make a couple of checks here. So Sky, I would like you to make, I think in a way, scrubbing through the footage and matching it all up. This isn't really so much a perception. I think almost like your photography and film could come at work here. And then this would probably be, probably intelligence still. So this is still intelligence and then photography film. To try and match it up. I would like you, Dfex, to make a cool conversation check to try and convince the guys around you, like, yeah, this is a pub crawl, but where did you guys see the gun girl? She was crazy, ha! Like that kind of stuff.
17 for me.
17?
18.
18, okay. Between the two of you guys, you managed to locate the area of the market where you think this went down. You match the little takoyaki place, the clinic mod where everything's being done in the background, and you finish. It's a tight little strip kind of corner, and yeah, you think you're vaguely in the right area. The market is still packed at this point. So what's the next step?
So I already checked for like jack-in points around here, didn't I?
You did, but like it's just that you need to spend time to find one. Like you can, whilst they're trying to search for that, you can be like, okay, now I'm going to narrow down an access point for the market.
Yeah, I think I'll start trying to do that, and then
sure,
see if I can get into the cameras to watch. I guess there's files I can find of the previous like footage, right?
Maybe, yeah,
maybe,
might be able
hopefully.
to. Maybe and Grim, what about you guys? What do you guys want to do? It doesn't have to be a skill-based thing. It could just be like a, what does your character think, like what's the thing you would like to do, and then I'll figure out.
So I think Mei would probably be talking to the local traders, you know, and
Yeah.
just kind of seeing, you know, kind of just getting the gossip. You know, she probably knows a few of them. They know her.
Now, is this you're trying to be just like casually conversation to get the information you want, or are you going up and be like, hey, tell me where this girl is kind of thing? Is this an interrogation, or is this more casual?
More casual, more
Sure.
like, you know, hey, how's business going? Like,
Sure.
I saw some crazy stuff happening today. Like, you know.
Nice. So that would be a cool plus conversation.
Cool. Conversation.
And then, Grim, what about yourself?
I think Grim would just be sort of walking up and down like the area, and maybe like using her cyber eye with a targeting scope to sort of get a closer look at the ground, looking
Cool.
for like signs of the
Oh, I like that.
fight.
Sure. Make a intelligence and perception check, but give yourself a +1 bonus because of the cyber
Nice.
eye.
19 plus 1.
19.
Would local expert be like?
Well, local expert would just be about like knowing specific details in the factions. Conversation is actually talking to people to get the information you want out of it.
17.
17. Okay. Grim, you managed to find bullet casings. You notice something unusual about each of these. Each bullet has been stamped with D.Cho on them, and there is almost like a little stylized laughing skull around the bullet casing. It's utterly pointless because these things will just get spent away. So whoever's done this is either an idiot or is very focused on their branding. But yeah, you find a couple of these bullet casings. There is a few other bullet casings around, but they don't have anything printed on them. These are just the standout things that you find.
Cool.
Talking around Mei, yeah, you ask the kind of locals about like anything strange going on. They talk about like the eye thing, obviously. They do also mention like, yeah, there's this weird girl's shown up, this young girl dressed up like some old character from like an old movie with a dog. Like who walks around with a dog these days? And she's been looking around, like digging through the old abandoned buildings, going into like the old metro stations. And then the other day, she came running, screaming, being chased by these gangers, shooting up the place. And one of the people you speak to is laughing. He's just like, yeah, she was waving around a Danny Cho gun. And you're like, what's so funny? Oh, Danny Cho, like his guns are trash. Like he's a con man, and she obviously bought one off of him. It's amazing that she managed to actually hit anything with it. And that's kind of like a topic of conversation. But none of them seem to really, the only thing that they can think of is that they've seen her going into the convenience store to buy dog food. Like that's like the place that they've seen her going in, like on a regular basis before she went missing.
Okay.
That's kind of the thing you found out. On the security cameras, Trex, you can track a little bit of her movements. You see Dorothy, white girl, brown hair, very obvious attire, kind of like this blue checkered shirt, denim shorts, and then red ruby sneakers. Her and a massive muscular pit bull with a big kind of bow tie collar come barreling out of the metro station, pursued by about 5 Maelstrom gangers, all covered in chrome cyberware with chains and knives and all sorts and guns, and they come streaking after her. She runs in the market to try and lose them, firing wildly. The camera cuts to a few places. You seem to lose her, and then you eventually manage to just catch a glimpse of her entering the pachinko parlor.
Oh.
And then she doesn't come out.
Oh. Could I download that footage?
Sure. Make an interface check. Let's make a roll for me just to see if you managed to get this footage.
8.
8. The download, as you try and download it, the security system detects that somebody's like trying to download it and just wipes it.
Fine, jack out.
Yeah, you just jack out the system and then it's done. You've got a couple of clues now as to where she may have gone, what she may have been up to. What is the next step? What would you guys like to do?
So we got Dorothy in the pachinko parlor.
She headed into the pachinko parlor and then you didn't see her leave.
Didn't see her leave. She bought a gun.
She bought a gun from
Danny Cho.
Danny Cho.
So there's 2 pretty solid leads. And we've still got like the medtech buildings for the files and blah blah blah. We want
And
to
the
stay
convenience
local.
store where she bought her dog food.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the other one as well. So those are the kind of 3 major clues that you guys have found that you can pursue. Which one would you like to go after?
I'm feeling pachinko.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's the last place we saw her, then perfect.
Okay, cool. I want a couple of checks as you guys are making your way into Happy Dragon Pachinko. In fact, actually, before the checks, I don't know if you guys know what a pachinko parlor is. It's a particular type of arcade gambling hall. Pachinko machines are dozens of ball bearings get filtered down, and there's all sorts of gimmicks to them. They're loud. And as you begin approaching this particular pachinko parlor, it is deafening. It's a cacophony of blaring Japanese, Chinese, Korean pop music mixed in with the sounds of millions of metal ball bearings being filtered and pinging off metal spikes and pegs. So it is a cacophony that fills your ears, which makes it very hard to think and just do anything around it. It's going to affect some skill rolls. But as you guys are approaching, I would like perception checks around the table.
Okay.
Intelligence plus perception. And then based on those, I might need you to make a local knowledge as well.
Whoa.
16.
16. It's pretty good.
14.
14.
14 for me as well.
14, 14, 16.
19.
19.
13.
13. Okay. So I think Mei Mei and Sky, people are watching that pachinko parlor quite carefully. And I would say, actually, Mei Mei, you don't need to make a check on this. You're almost certain they're Maelstrom. Walking past, you see men and women. There's about 4 or 5 of them. All have cyber limbs, legs or arms or eyes or something. Very heavily chrome. They wear jackets with, slogans like "Fuck the human race," "Machines forever," stuff like this. And they just look mean and vicious. And they are watching that pachinko parlor carefully as you guys make your approach. When you guys do get inside, the sound just overwhelms you. You can see that there are rows and rows of these bright colored neon LED screens that are flashing up. You can just hear the sound of all these metal balls kind of all around you. Bings and bongs and whistles and boops, and then this music over the top of it through tinny, not well kept, maintained speakers. It's quite large, and the machines are packed into aisles. So there's 2 rows of machines, so you face them, and then there's a slight, tiny, thin walkway down the middle. There are a few people in here. You can see that there are a few kind of, looks like older gentlemen, an old lady, just kind of wirelessly like tapping a kind of plastic card to a reader, and then just staring at the screen as they watch, occasionally grunting in annoyance or kind of in joy, it seems. But that's the only people you see so far.
Okay.
There is also, the other thing to note is there are security cameras, and the security cameras in here, they are each, attached to each of them is clearly some sort of turret weapon. Some sort of weapon is attached to these cameras. The cameras just scan the room to make sure that anybody kind of messing with the machines would get probably 1 clear verbal warning, and then that's it. They're expected to back off.
I'm gonna be like, "Oh, pachinko! Well, we're here. Come on!" And I'm gonna go over to one.
And just start playing and running machines? Sure. You don't have the gambling skill, do you, on your character sheet?
No.
Just roll a d10 and then add...
Luck.
Do you know what? Actually, make a willpower. Make it willpower for me. So luck is a different stat. You can spend luck. Whenever you guys roll a dice, if you want to add a bonus to your rolls, you can spend luck to do that.
Oh, 17.
Okay. You play a few rounds, you win a little bit of money, and then you're like, I can probably stop here if you want to. You've won enough that you've kind of made some money gain. You're going to probably gain something like 20 eddies, 20 euro dollars. If you keep going, you're probably going to lose. But you can stop if you want to.
Do I want to stop? That's the thing.
It's easy. Just, no, it's just one
Just
game.
stop.
Just one game.
12 to do it again.
12 to do it again. This time it's like, you're like, no, I'll play some more rounds. You play, you win, you lose. You can't stop when you're losing, so you pay more. You've spent about 50 euro eddies now, so you earned 20, you've now lost 50. Do you want to stop?
I'm just pretty pissed at this point. I punch the screen.
So when you punch the screen, a red light, woo, kind of goes off.
Yeah, all right.
The camera points at you and you see the muzzle begin to spin up. The barrel's like,
All right. I put my hands up and walk out.
as soon as you step away from the machine, the turret seems to wait and then it kind of goes back to its thing. Make a basic tech for me.
Basic tech with anything else?
No, intelligence.
Intelligence and basic tech. 8. My intelligence is 7, so 15. And my, what was it, basic tech?
Yeah. Oh, security tech, sorry, security tech.
Security tech. 6.
6, very high.
So a million.
21. The way that turret responded and the time it took for it to back down once Dfex stepped away, you think it's automated or at least AI controlled. You don't think a human is watching these cameras. It's registered to react to certain actions. He stepped away, so it was like, okay, he's not a problem anymore. I'm gonna back down.
Cool.
But yeah, you don't see any sign of Dorothy. There's only a couple of old senile gamblers in here. It's a big place, but it's pretty empty.
Are there any like back rooms or like receptions or staff only areas or?
You don't see any. You don't see a staff room or anything like that. But if you want to investigate and see if there's like a hidden door, yeah, like anybody who wants to do that, that would be a perception with intelligence again.
So I also, with my cyber hand, I can touch a surface and can tell if there's any motion within 20 meters as long as my hand is touching that surface.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well the room's quite big. Let's split the room up into zones, right?
Okay.
You've got the back of the room, which is at the very far end of the hall. It's like from the furthest point from the entrance. There doesn't seem to be anything there, maybe a few vending machines. That's it. It's just a couple of vending machines and a back wall. Then you have the aisles, like of the actual pachinko machines, and then you've got the entrance. These 3 areas. Now it's a pretty big parlor, so 20 meters. If you touch it at the entrance, it's only really going to sense anything around you here.
Yeah, okay. Can I try like touching the walls or even the vending machines themselves and see if there's anything like behind them or anything like that?
So you go up and you place your hand, and it's a tactile booster, isn't it? So you feel like microscopic vibrations.
Yeah.
First of all, as you're kind of placing your hand up against the wall and kind of brushing your hand along it, there are micro ridges. There's a panel in this wall.
Perfect.
Right? You can sense that there is some sort of panel in this wall, probably big enough for a maintenance hatch or a crawl space. But more than that, as you kind of focus more, coming from above you, 20 meters, so up in the ceiling of this parlor, yeah, somebody's moving around up there. Sounds like, get an impression, 1 person on 2 legs, 1 person on 4.
I think they're upstairs, guys. I can feel them with a hand. 2 legs, 4 legs. Woman and a dog.
That does describe a woman and a dog, yes.
That's pretty good. Pretty good guess. If you ask me.
If that dog is not called Toto, I'm going to be incredibly disappointed.
I do not get the reference.
I love that band.
I do not get the reference.
Old school,
He's
man.
struggling. He's trying. You're gonna be the badass solo, Ree. You can't laugh.
I'm trying so hard.
I'd love it if the badass solo just started busting out somewhere over the rainbow.
Shooting somewhere.
The question is, which one of you is the lion, which one of you is the scarecrow, and which one's the Tin Man? So, anyway,
Tin Man.
what do you guys want to do? With Trex's knowledge that there's definitely, you don't see a way like to access it. I mean, maybe that maintenance panel, but you'll have to wedge it. You'll have to force it open if you want to go through that.
Want to force it open? There's people around, cameras all over the place with guns attached. So maybe don't wedge it open in the open. open?
You can probably try and, like, there's a system here. Like, you can, like, get security cameras and the pachinko machines, there'll be a system in this place.
Unless I take down the cameras for just enough time for you to, you know,
Sounds good. If you can get those cameras off my back, make sure we get out of there alive.
hopefully.
That'll be good.
Sure, I can do that.
Okay. I won't make you do a scanner. There is an access point at the back of this room that you can easily access. Would you like, Trex, to jack in?
I would like
Here we go.
Jack in.
Jack in. So the Netrunner is going to begin. So the way this works, for you guys mainly, is you see Drex pulls down a pair of goggles over his eyes. I think because you have to have the virtuality goggles.
Yeah, it's my glasses.
Puts on a pair of glasses. And you see him pull out like a thin micro cable out of his hand and jacks it into this port. You guys don't see anything different. Trex just begins looking around as if he's seeing things that you guys can't see. As an experience, if we were to cut to Trex's vision, the pachinko parlor becomes mixed with this neon draconic cave. Piles of golden neon coins, big sort of cavernous space envelops around the pachinko parlor itself, and the smell of brimstone, like all of these senses begin being created around you in this virtual space. Right, so if I remember, you have 2 net actions because of your Netrunner rank.
Yep, but only 1 because jacking in isn't.
Yes, so you have 1 remaining action for this turn. What would you like to do in your Netrunner abilities?
So in that case, I want to use the Pathfinder ability to map out as much of the network as I can, yeah.
Sure, so you're going to roll a d10 plus your interface.
Sure. So
Whilst he is doing this, you guys are free to do anything else you guys want to do. Think of this almost like a combat round, right? Whilst Trex is in the system, you guys have a move and an action to do whatever you want to do.
Is he aware of us?
Yeah, he can see you, like he can call out to you.
But there's an augmented reality.
Exactly. So the way that Netrunners work is they have to navigate what they call meat space, which is the living fleshy world, and then the net space, which is this augmented reality where programs and other hackers will be manifested as avatars around him. That kind of stuff.
Can I position myself where I can see if anyone kind of spots Trex getting up to Trix? And
Tricks.
I guess move to intercept them or cause a distraction.
You'd basically be placing yourself at the front of the pachinko parlor, and you can see that there are the windows here are thin bulletproof glass. There's not really much cover apart from the pachinko machines themselves, but there's, they are stacks in these rows. You could either, now do you want to keep yourself hidden from anybody that enters, or do you want to be visible so you're kind of like a deterrent?
Keep myself visible, so I'm a deterrent. Yeah.
So you're basically stood in the window looking out onto the space out the front of the pachinko parlor.
Looking menacing.
Sure. What about Sky? What do you want to do?
I think I want to go onto my agent and start kind of digging around online, seeing if there's anything that's come up since I've last looked for the marketplace, anything about someone called Dorothy. Anything about Maelstrom that might have come up recently. I think just like digging into the latest goings on on the street.
That'll take you some time, so this will probably be a good occupier for while Trex is doing that. You don't have to make it now, but at some point, make a library search plus intelligence check for me, just to see what information you can pull up. But that's going to take some time, so don't worry about it. Just keep a record of it. If you want to write it down or just make it later, that's fine. Grim.
I'm waiting for Trex's signal, so when Trex gives me
you're
a
like
little clip,
next to him.
ready to go.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Dfex.
Can I look up at the area around Trex and Grim and look for any more of those turret, like where the areas they come out?
There's one above the vending machines in the corner, and it has the best line of sight. The other ones, they can still see you, but they're the far end of the pachinko parlor, and you could probably dive in amongst the machines to get cover from it. But there's one directly above that can easily just the whole area that you're standing in.
If it activates, or there's a sign of it, or Trex does something wrong, is hit one of the other people's pachinko machine like I did before. It's like, that brought the turret out, so I'll just smack one of theirs.
Okay, so you stand behind like an old lady, and she's just like tapping.
I'm literally going to chat to her, like, are you winning?
And she's like, she's speaking in Chinese to you.
Nice. I'm just speaking back. I don't know.
Yeah, okay, yeah, nice.
anything.
All
I'm
right,
just eyeing up.
eyeing it all up. Okay, so Trex, pathfinding check. What'd you get?
I got an 8.
An 8. Okay. It's hard to map the system. I will tell you. So the way that these systems are kind of mapped almost, think of it like an elevator. And because I know Tom and I were talking about this, think of it that Tom starts at the ground level and then he has to go up. He can't, if he stops and comes back down, the whole thing resets. Anything he finds gets reset. Okay. He has to stop at every floor, but there will be things behind the door of the elevator. So he goes to the first floor, the door's open, what's there? Then he goes up to the second floor, door's open, what's there? There can be bad things behind these doors. There can be good things. Trex, you know that the first, I will say, 8's pretty low. I will say, let's see. I'll give you 2 facts. One, you get to know that the first 2 floors of the system, the first floor is a password. The second floor contains a file called prob %%, and there's another password. That password has only recently been added to the system within the last 24 hours.
What was the file called, sorry?
The file is called prob %%.
Okay.
Right? The rest of the system, you don't know what else is there. I will say that you know it will branch at some point.
Oh, okay.
So the system will split into 2 branches and you'll need to pick which one to go down. But you don't know at what point.
Right, okay. I guess I'll say in meat space, this network's bigger than I thought. It's gonna take a while.
Is he gonna shoot at you?
Not yet.
All right.
Okay. So the first thing is a password. You come across a password now. You don't know the password. You can try and guess it, but the better thing to do would be to...
So I imagine, the way I'm imagining this, by the way, my avatar. So this is like a dungeon, right? Like almost a pixelated magma dungeon.
Kind of. There's obviously there's like more. This is like a Southeast, like Asian inspired kind of like dragon kind of thing as well. Like it kind of it's like a dragon's cave, but yeah.
Okay, so I almost teleport in, and I am like a paladin from a MMO.
Okay.
And I'm
nice.
watching myself navigate this thing, like in third person. And
Right,
at the bottom of the screen, I can see like my skills, and that's my cyber deck.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, when I get into this room and I know there's a password,
Yeah.
I'll press 3. That's the cyber deck to use my seer booster.
Okay. So this is like some sort of magic spell that you conjure on yourself.
Yeah, and the seer cyber deck program increases all my backdoor checks that I make by +2 as long as it's active, and it's currently active.
It is currently active. So that was your net action. So you've got another net action this turn.
And I want to use the backdoor action, which lets me get through a password.
Password, yeah. So it's just D10 plus your interface and an extra +2 now.
+2. Boom.
So the password to you appears like a great stone door that appears over the hatchway, and it's got like archaic script all written on it and stuff.
There's like 4 buttons I have to press at the same time, and there's a load of pots laying around. How do I open the door?
How do you do it?
I rolled a 2, +2, 4, +4, 8.
8 is still enough.
Oh, okay.
So this is clearly the password that the pachinko pile is set, and it's not that complicated. Like you run a basic program, it scans through a bunch of characters, and then it slowly figures it out, and bam, you're in. You can move to the next floor if you would like.
For free.
Yep, for free.
Could I save it for the next time when I have actions?
Sure. Yeah, you can just do it for the next time. The rest
like
of you,
that. That's a cool
while you're waiting, there's still no sign for you, Grim. May, those maelstroms outside definitely watch you guys come in, and they're talking to each other. One of them pulls out an agent and is making a call.
Heads up, guys. The freaks are making a move.
You're just kind of still searching away, Sky, and through the libraries. This is all happening in like 3 seconds, by the way. It's like he's doing space magic hacker stuff, and you're just all like looking around the room. So you go to the next floor with 2 new net actions. Yeah, there is a file called prob %% and another password, a newer password.
Can I download the file for free? Because I think IDing it is an action.
ID is an action. You can just, I think it's an action to put it on your cyber deck, but you can look at it later.
I mean, I might as well snag the file, just see what it is later.
See what it is.
And then with the other password, yeah, I'll try and backdoor that one as well.
Backdoor it again, sure.
So I've still got my cyberdeck rezzed, so 10, 14, 16.
16. This one's a bit more complicated, and there's a signature here. This is a Netrunner. And as you begin doing it, the door, the big stone door of the first password opens, and stretching out before you is a golden road of yellow bricks that seems to wind and turn and spin, and it becomes a labyrinth that stretches out before you. You kind of think through and you use your own programs, and you manage to isolate the correct path and begin sending your avatar down it as it navigates through.
I do not get the reference.
As you are walking down, you hear like a cackling green witch flying overhead, just like, "Ah, my pretty, what are you doing in my land?" And then it flies past. You think that if there's a Netrunner in the system, they know you're here.
Cool.
Whether they know you're here or not, let's find out.
Oh.
Do you want to move to the next floor? Now, this is a floor that you don't know what's on it.
Can I repeatedly make the Pathfinder action just to navigate the rest of the thing as I go?
Doesn't say you can't repeat it, so I will say yes, as I too am learning the system.
Okay. In that case, like, now that I'm on the next few floors, I don't know anything about. So yeah, I'll try again. I don't have a +2, but I've got 12 this time.
12 this time. So the next floor contains a control node. Don't know what it controls, but it's a control node. It will control something in the system. Then it branches, and it splits into 2 branches. Which branch would you like information on? Branch A or branch B?
Branch A, please.
Branch A. So after the control node in branch A, there is a Wisp, which is a black ice program, a defensive program.
Okay.
And then another control node, and then another file.
Do I know the file's name?
Siphon #2982.
What does that mean? 29.
I had a lot of fun of just like, what do I call hacker file programs that mash keyboard?
Oh, yep.
And that one's defended by a black ice.
It is. You could go down the other pathway, but you don't know what's on there.
Don't know what's in there. I'll see if I can identify the control thing on the next floor.
Okay, so you move to the next floor. May outside, the Maelstrom guy is speaking on the phone. He hangs up, and then he points at the pachinko parlor, and they're going to start making their way. Yes, Sky.
Can I see if I could lip read?
Sure. Do you want to stop what you're doing and then go lip read?
Yeah, but after May says,
Sure.
Can I try and lip read what he's saying on this phone?
Absolutely, you can. So let's make that a. I think it would be intelligence, honestly. Intelligence plus lip reading, but remember you can spend luck points. So you can spend luck points to give yourself a +1.
18.
18. This won't be a contested check. You catch the last part of the conversation. They may kind of alerted to you that they were coming, and then you catch the second half of the conversation, and you just hear like, yeah, dragon, yeah, they're in there. Okay, you're gonna send Fargo? Do you want us to go in? Okay, sure thing, boss.
Okay. They're sending in Fargo.
Kim's looking at me.
They're sending in Fargo.
Can't see that face behind the mask, but I know those eyes.
It's just when you see little names and words in there.
Yeah, little words in there. What could they mean?
Interesting, Mark.
Yeah. You see that, and then maybe they hang up, and then they're pointing in the direction. They haven't started moving yet, but they are clearly coming towards it. Back in the net hacker, what'd you move to the next floor?
The floor 3, I want to see what the
Control.
control thing does. I want to try and take control of it.
It is for the security turrets.
Oh, perfect. The cameras as well, or?
Yeah, it's part of the same system. So the cameras are connected to the turrets, how they identify the threat.
Do I dig too deep and carry on down another path? Well, I need to take control of this thing anyway, so...
Sure.
Do I know... I guess it's being controlled by the other Netrunner right now.
You don't know, actually. They look like they're just automated right now.
I'll control it. I'll try and take control.
Okay, so you make one control check. This is just, again, D10 plus your interface.
12.
12 is enough. You manage to just about wrestle control of these cameras.
Nice.
Now, you've got a couple of options. You could activate them. You could basically target an individual, and they have face tracking. So you have to target somebody that has a readable human shape. They won't target animals or objects, but they can target people. And you can just literally tap and be like, fire, and they'll just shoot. And they'll keep shooting at that target until it stops moving. They'll track
Tell
it.
to stop.
They'll track it through the room and stuff like that. You can disable them, which will basically shut the cameras down so they can't see anything, which means that they can't target anything either. Those are your kind of two base options.
Okay, can I just point it at the door and just say to everyone, like, got the cameras now, but there's someone else in here, probably Dorothy.
So at the hatch that you're currently stood at?
Point it at the door where the maelstrom dude.
Yeah, so you're at the back of the room, and there's two turrets. One is by the front door, and it looks at the front door in the first half of the machines. Then there's one that points at the back of the room and the second half of the machines.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, just so when the maelstrom dudes come in, like...
You're going to try and activate it on them, but you want to try and stop it activating on you guys.
Yes.
Like, take manual control.
Deactivate on us.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. So you'll need to make another control check to do that.
Oh, okay.
And this will set the difficulty for if somebody wants to reassert control.
Right, okay. Let's hope I get good then. I'm gonna spend a luck point.
Should be doing it before the roll, but
really?
as we're learning, yeah.
Okay, sure. I'll just go with this and not spend it. I'll play fair. 9 on that one.
9, okay.
Terrible.
So it's just make a note, control 9 on the cameras. And yeah, you have control of them. So they won't fire unless you tell them to.
Okay, perfect.
And then do you want to give the signal to Grim?
Yes, yeah.
Are you going to stay in the system?
I'm gonna stay in.
Okay. So Grim, he gives you the signal.
Yep. And I'll open the door.
So how you just want to like pry it open with your hands?
Yeah, just try and just grab
Rip it.
Rip it open.
So make a body plus athletics check. You dig your fingers into this tiny kind of, you can barely even see it. You're basically having to like rip the wall apart to do
Nice.
this.
22.
22, yeah. And you rip it. The thing's made of plaster, but it clearly has like a metal framework with a hinge inside. And yeah, there's a maintenance hatch. As you begin opening it, you hear something like a click. What do you do?
I feel like, can I like sort of tackle Trex to the floor, like just dive, tackle.
Sure, make
Out of the
a
way.
reflexes plus athletics.
It's reflex plus athletics.
Sure.
22 again.
22 again. You dive on top of Trex and basically shove his head down into the ground. As this thing opens, a bang and a flash erupts. You just managed to see the canister of some sort of flashbang fall to the ground. It had clearly been wedged in the door, tied so that as soon as it was opened, it pulled it and it just, bam, this flash goes off. Hello everyone, we hope that you enjoyed this episode of High Rollers in Cyberpunk 2077. Do make sure that you come back to check out episodes 2 and 3 in the future by subscribing or clicking on the bell for notifications. Otherwise, we may just have to send some folks after you.